We're casually crashing, laughing while we're spiraling. We're casually crashing, we're fine until we're not.
Welcome, welcome, my mentally unwell mamacitas. I'm Taylor Coker, and you're listening to Casually Crashing Out, where overthinking is an Olympic sport and your girl is a 3-time gold medalist. I recently read a quote that read, "You may not be where you want to be yet, but remember, 5 years ago, you prayed for the life you have today." And I don't know if that resonates with anyone else as much as it resonates with me, but that had me a little shook. When I think about where I was 5 years ago, when I think about where I was 3 years ago, the growth that I feel like I have gone through. I don't know if anyone really knows my story of how I ended up in Kentucky, because most of the time when people ask me, my answer is it's a long story, because it truly is a long story. And it's not the kind of story that I can just spew off in casual, lighthearted conversation. So I just leave it at it is a long story. But since you guys are already here, since you guys chose to be here, I figured that I would give you guys the privilege of hearing this long story that I'm going to make as entertaining for you as possible in my Taylor Coker way. I moved to Kentucky 7 years ago, and I started with a air mattress on the floor, whatever would fit in my car, and my cat, Kiki. Not many people know I have a cat, by the way. Yes, I have a cat. She exists. She's real. She has been through hell and back with me. She also is fat, and I'm okay with that. But anyways, moving forward, moved here. I had gotten an apartment. I had gotten a job bartending at a restaurant that had just opened downtown. I knew nobody. I moved here on a whim. People ask me why. Why did you do that? You know, what would bring you here? Why would you move to Ashland, Kentucky? You don't know many people who move to Ashland unless you're from Ashland or, you know, you have family, but that is neither of the case for me. So to tell you guys the reason of why I moved to Kentucky, I would have to tell you the story of me and my husband, because I would never have ended up here if it was not for him. So the story of me and him is very quintessential and relevant. I met my husband back when I was 25, standing in line for a beer at a dive bar that I eventually got a job at later on, but I had just gotten off work. I was cutting hair at the time because, yes, your girl used to do hair. I went to school for hair in Florida. I was a licensed cosmetologist, learning things you never knew about me. See, I was a licensed cosmetologist and I did hair for quite a while. And mind you, I was 25. So I would get off work in my uniform because we had to wear like uniforms and we had to dress up as little referee outfits, you know, because it was like sports themed. And I would get off work with my name tag on and all, and I would go down to the local dive bar on the water, and I would just because I was living my best 25-year-old life, obviously. And I was waiting in line one of these days, and there was this man in front of me, and I remember looking at him, and I just remember seeing this star tattoo on his neck, and there was like a guitar in the middle, and I was looking at his tattoo, and I just remember thinking, is that supposed to mean rock star? It's like, if so, it's brilliant. Brilliant. I remember seeing like the gray in his hair, and I just thought to myself, he was very handsome nonetheless. I just thought, oh, he's too old for me. There's, you know, he's an old man. We actually ended up, I don't know how it happened, but we made our way out to the picnic table out front and we just sat there and talked for, God, I don't even know, 2-3 hours. Me and my husband have always had really good communication. Even if we fight or we squabble, we don't really fight, we squabble. We are good at, even if we can't talk about it right in that moment, later on, it will get talked about and we will resolve it always. It always gets resolved. Anyways, so moving forward, we talked for a long time. I mean, I remember we talked until it started getting dark. I I think I had to leave, but I got his number or something maybe. Guys, I was a wild child, okay? I was living my best life. I had just finished cosmetology school, so I had just started working, cutting hair, and actually making pretty decent money, enough money to be able to, like, pay for my own apartment and stuff, and that's exciting when you're a young adult. Wasn't really interested in being in any type of relationship, I think, at that point, but some time had gone on. I was in a different point in my life, a different era, if you will. I had started working at that bar where I had met Jason, and I was meeting new friends. I was loving life, living life and loving life. And we had gone to this place after work. Um, it was like a Saturday night. I immediately see this man on stage. He's skinny and he's got this straw cowboy hat on. He looks, I don't want to say dirty. That's not the word I'm looking for, but he looks rough. We'll just say that. But again, very handsome nonetheless. I mean, I kept looking, if that tells you anything. So I sit down and he's playing this music, and my husband has the ability, and he's always had this ability, and I think it's what makes him such a good musician. He can get people, anyone, to feel what he's playing. When he plays, he makes you feel things, and I think that's what makes any musician a good musician. So we get to talking, we realize we know each other from the year prior. What I wasn't aware of at that immediate time was that he was using. I was young, I was naive, I was dealing with a lot. My dad is a recovering alcoholic, so I understood addiction to an extent, but not to the extent where my now husband was at that time. That connection we had was still there, but again, a lot of skeletons in his closet that I was not aware of yet. And me being me, it's like, bring them on, baby. I love toxic. I say that because obviously in any other given, circumstance, I should have ran the other way, right? Why would I think that this was a good idea? I don't know what compelled me to stick around, but I'm so glad I did. It was about a year and a half of just very, very toxic back and forth. We'd get together, break up. He lived with me. I'd kick him out. I mean, it was a lot of stuff, right? Eventually, I made the decision to move away, and I told him I would drop him off at his mom's on the way up, and his mom was going to take him to rehab. Got to his mom's, he relapsed again. I ended up leaving him there earlier than I was supposed to. I was supposed to spend the holidays with them, but I said, you know what? At that point, I had wiped my hands clean. I went on up to Pittsburgh. I had a best friend there at the time. She was kind of one of my solid support systems. And I think I kind of put a little bit too much on her. I'm realizing that now because I thought that I was going to get there and it was just going to be all about us and we were going to take on the world and I was going to get away from all the toxic. And I didn't realize that that wasn't really her responsibility. She was dealing with a lot. She had just found out her dad was diagnosed with cancer. She had a lot of stuff going on. I think looking back, I was very depressed when I moved to Pittsburgh. Really tried my best, but I was dealing with heartbreak, horrible heartbreak, one of the worst kinds of heartbreak, because not only did I know that I was losing this person, I didn't know how much longer he was going to live the rate he was at. I mean, I was prepared to get a call any day that he was dead. And it was very, very, it's heart-wrenching. So Pittsburgh was not a fun time for me, but I did live there. I did learn there. And again, that's growth. I want to say a couple months into me being there, I got a call from Jason, which I hadn't really been talking to up until that point. And so I was surprised to hear from him. He had told me that he was on his way to rehab and he had asked me if I could meet him, but to walk him in the door because he was scared. I got off work that day and I drove 5 hours to this random hotel in Moorhead, Kentucky. And I stayed the night with him because I guess he had gotten in too late. So we stayed the night at a hotel. I dropped him off the next morning. And it was very sad because I didn't know if this was even going to work. I mean, we had been through so much together. Every time I saw him, it was heartbreak all over. He looked terrible. He looked sad. He looked defeated. I mean, I hated it for him. but I needed a little bit of peace of mind. Selfishly, I needed to know that he was in a space where I didn't have to worry about him. It was a very, very emotional day, but the best decision we ever made. I ended up moving to Kentucky because I hated Pittsburgh. It wasn't for me. I'm not a Pittsburgh girly, and that's okay. You know, that's something I've learned about myself. That's not my vibe. I moved over here. I don't really even know if Kentucky is my vibe just yet. I'm still living and learning here. But I will say that I'm the happiest I've ever been in a long time right now. With everything. Again, the growth. I mean, guys, when I first moved here, I was on the classifieds on Craigslist looking for an apartment, and I found this house that they had made into 4 apartments, and it was like $600 a month. I got it. I moved in. I had an air mattress on the floor. I cannot tell you the amount of joy that first night, me laying on this air mattress because I had started over, and it was so freeing. Now I'm in this beautiful home that I own with a big fenced in backyard. I have my she shed. My husband has his man cave. We have put our heart and soul into this home. I find myself sometimes comparing myself or saying, well, I wish I could, we could have that. Why can't we have that? Why can't we do those things like those people? But I got to remember, like 5 years ago, I would have killed for this. I would never have believed you if you told me 5 years ago that this is where I was going to be in 5 years. I would have never have believed you if you had told me 7 years ago when I dropped my husband off at a rehab in Moorhead, Kentucky, that in 7 years, this is where we were going to be. Never would have believed it. Never. But here we are. I can't wait to see where we are in the next 7 years because it's remarkable. And I think everyone needs to remember that because I think we forget it. And saying all that brings me to another quote that I have recently come across, and I promise you it's relevant. If you could take all of your problems and put them in a hat, you'd never see them again. They're gone. But the only catch is you must reach your hand in that hat and grab somebody else's problems. So your problems are gone, but now you have taken on a complete stranger's problems. That's a risk you're taking. Would you do it? I immediately found myself saying, hell no, hell no. Because guys, there are people out there always that have it worse than us. Always. No matter how bad you think you're having it, there's worse. And you need to remember that. And we need to start being more grateful, looking at the glass half full. We go through this life acting like we're owed tomorrow or owed next week, owed next year. We're not owed anything. You're not even owed the next 15 seconds. Anything can happen. You're not entitled to anything. So this precious time you have left, make the most of it. Anyways, I know I tend to go off on tangents, but I promise I always reel it back in when I need to. Listeners, the reason I tell you all this about my husband is because he is today's guest. Someone who has had a front row seat to almost every spiral, every unnecessary Amazon purchase, every 2 a.m. existential crisis, every I'm fine that definitely did not mean I was fine. He's my unpaid therapist, the man who has survived 10 years of my crash outs. My husband, the man, the myth, the legend, Jason Coker. J. Coker Live. Thank you for agreeing to come on the podcast today.
You're so welcome.
Like he had a choice. I was like, you're going to be a guest. He's like,
I said, currently my ceiling fan just fell down and I'm holding it up.
Yeah. Our ceiling fan fell off of our porch today. That's really cool. But my husband, who is very handy, a handy guy,
fixed it.
But I think it also might have broke because you tried to fix it the first time.
Well, so in all fairness, that was like the first real ceiling fan that I hung by myself.
Good to know. You made it seem like you'd done it 1,000 times.
Well, and that's the Coker way.
Yeah.
But I will tell you,
I'm actually reading a book called Winging It, so I can't argue that they say that that's what you're supposed to do. You're just supposed to fake it till you make it.
I will tell you, it lasted a lot longer than I thought it was going to do.
It started swinging the other day when I was on the porch, and I was like, my husband hugged this fan, so I'm just going to turn it off. If it falls, I'll let him deal with it later.
It's
How
just,
funny.
And it's just times like this when like you just wish you listened to your dad a little bit more instead of being so stubborn. You know what I mean? Because I probably could have figured it out. I did figure it out.
Yeah. You
But-
also fixed the sink the other day with no type of YouTubing or anything.
No, boys,
First time for everything.
boys, I just
He just hiked on under that sink. You did. And you fixed it.
I grabbed the little red thread and rod
Yep.
and I just shoved it in there and started twisting. And honestly, I was praying it would catch, and it did.
It did. It did.
Stay down, deep down, 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 down.
Going camping this weekend? Maybe a night ride with a hubby? It's about that time, guys. Either way, Mud Slut Mafia's got you covered. When it comes to apparel, Mud Slut Mafia knows what baddies want.
No matter your size, your vibe, or what you ride, there's literally something for everybody. And honestly, it's more than just a brand. It's a whole community of people who just get that mud bogger lifestyle. So the listeners just heard the intro, as have you. What do you think about the intro? Did I get the story right? Do you have anything you want to add to it?
So when I met you, I will say you caught my attention. You didn't get my phone number. You
I
might
thought
have
I
asked
did.
for it,
No,
but
we texted for a little bit.
no, we didn't text, because here's what really happened. We talked for a couple hours and then we didn't see each other again. But I remember that you said that you played darts at a place up in town on like Thursday nights. So I actually went there hoping to see you again, and I found you, but you didn't remember me. Like, you talked to me, you were nice, but I was like,
I remembered you. I think, if I'm being honest, I might have been talking to somebody else at that time, and like maybe they were there, or
well, it was heartbreaking.
I'm sorry, I broke your heart.
It was heartbreaking.
Well,
I remember your eyes,
oh,
and I remember your lunge.
my lunge laugh.
When you tell something, like when you are in funny mode and you tell a joke, it's like you're laughing, but nothing's coming out of your mouth, and you're just kind of lunging using your hands. It's like, ah! And then
Yeah,
lunging.
I get so excited.
Yeah, you get very
I just need to
excited.
do something with all the
So-
laugh.
I remembered that. And then your friend told you to stay away from me.
Yeah. A few people told me that. Ain't nobody telling
Nice.
me what to do.
And then you followed me everywhere I went.
Also, do you ever feel like there's
just
something
kidding.
compelling you to do something greater than you that you can't really understand, but you know it's just like what you're meant to be doing? And I just felt like you were supposed to be a part of my life. Like I wasn't supposed to just walk away from you.
I think I literally tried to hide from you a couple of times.
Yeah. I
Listen.
remember I like kicked in a door to a trap house one time.
You
Like
did.
I was like, "Where's Jason?"
Yeah, and they're like, he's just snuck out the window, ride his bicycle.
We haven't seen him all night. I'm like, "Well, do you guys got beer in the fridge? Because your
Yeah.
girl is thirsty."
I came back and she was just sitting there drinking a beer with a bunch of homeless guys.
Yeah.
With
Some
a,
of them were actually really nice. But that brings me to what you do for a living now. Jason now, he helps get other people help. That's very commendable that you do
Well,
that. And you definitely, I would say, I've watched you get very emotionally attached to a lot of the people that you try to help because you've been there and you know.
yeah, which is weird. 7 years ago, I would have said rehab's for quitters.
Yeah.
It's,
It helped you. It saved your life.
Yeah, it's changed. It's changed everything. It's made the best version of myself. I'm still crazy.
We're all still living and learning. Why do you think I have a podcast?
I'm still crazy.
No one has
be-
it together.
Because
There's no such thing.
when you're in the madness and you have to start over and start over so many times, when you do get something good, you tend to just expect it to crash at any time. So there are stuff that I'm still dealing with, but
I think you're working on it and you're
Yeah.
getting better.
Yeah.
You're doing a lot of internal work. And again, I commend you for everything. And I'm really proud of you. Jumping off this emotional subject and going into more fun stuff, you already know on this podcast, we do a mental health check every episode. So on a 1 to 10, how are you feeling today?
today,
Today.
7.
7. Why a 7? Is there a reason?
7 being like good.
1 to 10. 10 being like you're at Disney World. You are currently on your favorite ride at Disney World. That's a 10.
I'd say probably a 6.
You said in that case, 2.
Probably a 6 today, just because I'm having a good day. Works.
Oh, 6 is a good day. You said, yeah, it's pretty good at 6.
I mean, compared to what my days have been, I honestly, mental health check has been pretty low lately, but
Yeah, I caught you on a good day is what you're
you
saying.
caught me on a good day.
Yeah, I try to
Today's
help
good
with
day.
your mental health. I'm sorry that I've not been doing my part lately. I know the
No.
podcast has kept me really busy, but I
No,
try to radiate positivity. What are some things that you like to do to help with that? Do you have any outlets? I mean, I know you
Yeah.
play music. We all know you play music.
Sex,
Okay.
lots of sex, lots of unnecessary, just random
Wild,
sex,
crazy.
wild sex with my wife. that
He's-
tends to help. Or boobs.
Guys,
Boobs help.
he's joking, by the way. He's kidding.
No, I mean, I'm not.
Mom, he's kidding.
Boobs and sex.
Judy, he's kidding.
Yeah. Why are you blushing? I still got it.
Anyways, where am I at today? I would say today I'm at like an 8.5. You can take some of my happiness and then we'll both be at a 7.
I don't want to take your happiness.
Girl math.
That's horrible.
Girl math.
I'm going to take your happiness so I can be happy.
But yeah, so okay.
Casually crashing.
Do. My husband is so done with that song. He hates it. he hears it
until we're not.
He hears it in his nightmares.
Oh my God. And trust me, they do crash out.
Yeah. He's like, I can attest that my wife crashes out at least 20 times a day.
But I love this podcast.
Oh, you do?
I do. I think it's a great thing for you because your crash out goes more into your friends and the mic.
You're right. Every time I freak out, I just think to myself, wow, this would be a great story. I'm going to remember this, every detail. Me and you went on your trip with your family last week. That was really fun. Did you have a good time?
Yes.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah, you had a good time.
I did.
And I will say that the drive there and back is always challenging for us. It never goes good.
What did my mom say sitting in the back seat? We just squabble. We don't really argue. We just squabble.
Yeah, we just argue over the littlest, silliest things. But your mom was a little tipsy from the winery, and she was in the back seat, and she kept telling us to shut up. She was like, shut the fuck up. Shut up. Every time she'd be like, stop it. Shut up. So when Judy's telling you to shut up, you shut up.
I've been hearing that my whole life.
Yeah.
You heard me. I shut up.
When Judy tells you to shut up, you shut up immediately.
My crash out of the week. My crash out of the week. I wanna crawl in a hole. I can't feel my soul. I wanna cry. I wanna die. My crash out of the week. My crash out of the week.
So many of you guys liked that song I made last week, so I decided to go ahead and permanently put the jingle in the podcast because why the fuck not? It is catchy, isn't it? So this week's crash out of the week comes from a badass bitch that my husband works with. She is a monster. She is the epitome of a hustler, and I love it. Fucking love it. So with all that being said, let's get into it, shall we? Dear Casually Crashing Out. This one is called The Cookout. So a friend of mine was over, and while looking at my yard, which I have made a lot of updates to recently, goes, you should have everyone over for a cookout. And I say, yes. Obviously, I say yes, because I am, and I cannot stress this enough, an unwell person who can never say no. Amen, sister. And when I do something, I always do the most because I care way too fucking much what people think. So if people are coming to my yard, we are doing an 8-course experience. We had a bounce house. We had a human-sized game of kerplunk, water balloons, a trampoline, a pool. I had turned my backyard into a full-blown amusement park for what was supposed to be a casual get-together. That's just who I am as a person. So the party starts. Everyone's having a great time. Kids are bouncing. There's soap from the water balloons. Somebody's definitely about to get a concussion coming down on the water slide. It's a whole scene. I invite an old friend I hadn't seen in forever. Hadn't seen his kid in forever either, since he was basically a baby. Except that kid apparently has lost his entire mind in the years since I last saw him. Because with a bounce house, a pool, and a trampoline available to him, he chooses to try and fight my other friend's child instead. Full send, fists up. They are 8 years old. And look, I am a grown woman. I should be breaking this up immediately. Instead, there is a small, deeply unhinged part of my soul that goes, let him cook, because the other kid had it coming. I'm not proud of it. I'm just being honest. This is a crashing out podcast. Hell yeah, it is. We're being honest. They finally leave, thank God, and everyone starts trickling out. This is the part of every party where I finally start to relax. So my husband and I start cleaning up, deflating the bounce house, and I turn around and my 2.5-year-old, who is mid-potty training, mind you, has his pants around his ankles at the fire pit, and he is taking a shit, standing up, not squatting, cheeks together, fully committed, just pushing it out like a soldier. And I lose it. I'm screaming, "Who does that?" He looks at me, dead serious, and goes, "Cusco does it. Cusco is our dog." He's citing the dog as precedent. I said, "You are not a dog." Like that was the argument I needed to win in that moment. My husband scoops him up, throws him in the bath while I go scoop an actual human turd off my lawn with a shovel, 10 feet from a bounce house, so none of my guests come back for round 2 and step in it. So that's it. That's the cookout. I spent 4 hours and probably $1,000 trying to give everyone the perfect night, and I ended it cleaning up human waste. That's the thing about crashing out. The second I finally exhale, the universe goes, "Oh, you're relaxed now? Say less," and hands me a flaming bag of literal shit. Angela. First of all, my first question is, where was my invite to the cookout? You know where we live, bitch. I expect to get an invite next time. That sounds like a blast. A human-sized kerplunk? Are you joking? First of all, I just want to say I am you and you are me, okay? I do the same exact thing when people come over to my house. I make it a spectacle. You would get along great with my family. When we host, we fucking host, okay? We go all out. I'm going to give everyone the best experience they've ever had in their life. As far as the child beating up another child, I'm going to be honest, I thought I was the only one that has looked at an actual child before and thought, you need to have your ass whooped. Like, I know you're a child, but you're an asshole and someone needs to teach you a lesson. And it ain't going to be me, but if another kid walked over to you and punched you in the face, I probably wouldn't stop it. So the fact that you actually got to witness that, I'm so jealous. Make sure you take a video next time. And as far as, your son, sometimes shit happens, literally. I mean, it wouldn't have been the day it would have been if he didn't shit in the fire pit. I mean, and that's all I'm going to say. You would have forgot about this day 2 months down the road. You'd never remembered it. The fact that your son knew that this was a day you needed to remember, he wanted to mark it down in history for you. You know what? The most important part of it is you got through it, right? That's the best part of every crash out. We get through it. We come out the other side, bigger, badder, braver, bitchier. That's just the way it goes, But thank you so much for taking the time to write in. I appreciate it more than you will ever know. And keep hustling, girl. Keep doing yo thing. Show them what us females can do. It's been a long day. It's been a long weekend. This past weekend, did anyone watch the Conor McGregor fight? I was at work and I didn't see the fight behind me, but I heard everyone's reactions.
He broke his own leg.
He broke his own leg?
The greatest of all time broke his own leg.
Broke his own leg?
He broke his own leg.
Oh. I've noticed that most of these fights where people come out of retirement have not ended well. The Ronda Rousey fight, I mean, she won, but that was a horrible fight. It ended very quickly.
There's a theory going on that some say that Conor and UFC knew his leg was hurt, and they still had like a $90 million night.
I work at the casino, and it's right by where Rock the Country was, and it was pouring down rain. So it was a perfect storm. The concert was getting pretty much rained out. It was getting rowdy AF out there. They said there was fights everywhere. Alcohol was crazy expensive. So everyone was coming down to the casino, which is a mile down the road, for beer that's cheaper, and AC, and to be dry, and to watch the UFC fight. So we got slammed. But again, after Conor McGregor broke his own leg, everyone was pretty upset, and
Like
they all left.
60 something seconds.
Yeah, but again, I was working the night of the Rousey fight as well, and it was the same thing. People were so upset. I guess that's why I'm comparing the two, because it was the same. I just saw the reaction of the people on both the fights. I couldn't even watch the fight. I have to watch the people because, by the way, you guys are so impatient. I want to say last night, I know how defeated I looked. I know the look that was on my face. There was one moment that all I needed was just a second. Like, all I needed was just 1 second to just gather my thoughts. And I remember I closed my eyes because I had to close my eyes to really just be like, okay, like, Taylor, it's going to be okay. I know you haven't sat down. I know you haven't took a breath. I know you're about to cry, but it's going to be okay. And I just closed my eyes for 1 minute. And as soon as I opened them, this woman was standing in front of me waving a dollar bill like violently, so upset that I was closing my eyes. And I was like, I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm literally about to, I just needed a second. Literally. I just needed 1 second. Excuse me, can I get a hurricane?
Why am I like this?
Why am I like this? I thought it'd be really fun this week to mix it up just a little bit because I'm a mix it up gal. And we are going to do Why Are You Like This? Couples edition. So you're going to ask me why I'm like this, and I'm going to ask you why you're like this, okay? Something that maybe we are curious about that we haven't learned after 10 years of being together.
Am I going first?
Yeah, you can go first if you want to.
All right, why do you watch Orange is the New Black 45 freaking times and you turn it on and just make everybody else watch and listen to it, but you just walk around and just, I have to just hear the song over and over again?
My husband's. I think that's like a...
Come on, man.
I don't know. I think when I'm doing something, I like to have something comforting playing in the background.
So you pick Orange is the New Black.
It was one of my favorite shows for a long time. I've rewatched that season probably 8 times. Or sorry, I've rewatched all 6, 7. I don't know how many seasons there are. I've rewatched all of the seasons 8 times.
And then she gets crazy ideas like, well, we should sell dirty panties. Just like Orange is the New Black.
Yeah.
And of course, I jump right into it.
That was like 3 reruns of me watching ago.
We
okay,
had,
I'm
we
off
had a whole
that
line.
idea.
We had a fall line called Pumpkin Puss. Remember that?
We had a whole slew of women.
Well, it wasn't all women.
Chain gang.
The people buying them don't really know who's wearing them. All my boys were wearing them.
Okay, so now it's my turn. Why are you like this? Why do you, like, if I say, hey, I'm telling you this, do not look at the person behind you. Immediately, it doesn't matter if I say, do not look, do not look, do not look, do not look, do not look. You will find a way to turn and look. And I'm like, stop doing that. You're doing
but your conscience is saying, oh my God, they see him looking. But no, I'm smooth. I do the yawn.
No, honey.
I do the old coffin drop.
That's another, you think you're being so smooth when you talk about people or you make comments sometimes and you're like, see what I did there? I'm like, yeah, they know what you did there too. You didn't trick anybody.
Listen, bub, I don't really have a filter. If my friends...
You don't. You and your mom, you are your mom's son for sure. You guys both out together because you guys are you make friends with everybody you meet. Everybody.
Well, yeah, but I also I like to joke with my friends. My friends understand my humor. Some people may not understand my humor. I think most people get my humor though.
Yeah.
Well, most people.
Strangers sometimes don't, but that's okay. The ones that matter do.
Yeah.
Like that time you told Brian that he looked like he got a shirt at a Jimmy Buffett concert.
No. I seen this fine gentleman standing at the bar with a flowered shirt on in Ashland, Kentucky. And I said, hey, Jimmy Buffett wants his shirt back. But we've been boys ever since.
But now you guys are best friends.
Yeah.
It was like love at first sight.
Yeah.
What a bromance.
Listen, but that's what you do. So I like to get somebody's, all right, because I don't have a filter and I'm liable to say anything. I have to test the waters right out front to see if this relationship is going to go any further. So I usually say something like that first, right off the rip.
So not waste any more time.
Yeah, and that's not really insulting. Jimmy Buffett's amazing. He's got great shirts.
Yeah, I love Jimmy Buffett, and I love Margaritaville. Ew, that's gross. You're nasty.
I get some more of that, bitch.
That's why you're going to be the first and last boy on this podcast.
Boys are gross.
Boys are yucky. They burp and they fart.
I was going to fart on the microphone the other night, but I figured you'd get really mad at me.
Yeah, please don't do that. You are a farting machine. And then you're like, it's a shot. It makes me gassy. Or you said it makes you, what'd you say it makes you do?
It's air pockets.
It's air pockets.
It's just air pockets.
You said it's the shot. It gives me air pockets.
Yeah.
Air pockets that smell bad.
No, air pockets don't smell. Farts smell.
All right, Jason. So there is 5 stacks of cards in front of you, and you are going to draw a card and then give our honest answer, our honest, raw answer. Okay. Actually, what we'll do is I will pick a card for you.
Because you're afraid I'll pick from the hot and dangerous stack.
You're going to pick from the XXX one, and we're not doing that one. What's one thing that instantly gives you the ick?
Gross things on my feet.
Gross things on your feet?
Yeah. Like walking through a pool bathroom with no shoes on, or the sand pit where the shower is. When you wash the sand off your feet at the beach.
What is the most quotable movie of all time?
Tombstone. I'm your Huckleberry.
Roses are red, violets are blue. Finish this poem and make it about you.
Roses are red, violets are blue. Meet me in the back, we'll have a screw.
Love it.
Everything else.
What's an internet rabbit hole you've gone down that has kept you up way past your bedtime lately?
Girls and machine guns. Let's see. No, I'm just kidding. I would say lately it's been like Theo Vaughn.
Oh, really? I like
yeah.
a good Theo Vaughn.
Yeah.
We went and saw him live, and he was incredible. If anyone ever is questioning if Theo Vaughn is as funny as he is on his podcast in real life, he's actually funnier in real life. What's the most random ass impulsive thing you've bought on Amazon? Check your Amazon orders. I actually don't know what it is. We'll look really quick and we'll see.
Electric fly swatter.
That is very random.
Yeah. Now let's talk about whatnot. Whatnots.
One time my husband bought a whole box of AG1 greens thinking it was a speaker.
Yeah.
And it got here and he was like, I got this new speaker. And we opened it and I was like, these are greens. And I've never even heard of these greens before. Yeah. We didn't use them. They were the kind of greens you have to like keep in the fridge, and we are not that responsible. So those were thrown away pretty quickly. What kind of character would you be in a horror movie?
I already have a horror movie.
Oh, you're right, Jason. What's your favorite activity to do when you have the whole day to yourself and you're off work?
I like to sit in my hammock and smoke my cigars.
What's one life skill you're so glad you have?
Life skill? I would just say just street smarts in general. Like I'm good at filtering bullshit.
Yeah, you are. You're good at just dealing with people in general, I think.
What is one thing that is always worth the splurge?
I mean, I'm a sucker for like a good dinner, like a fancy dinner. Me and you have spent a lot of money on good dinner. If you're treating yourself, it's one of the things that just really, it's something you remember for a long time.
I thought you were going to say purses.
I mean, I think, can I just say any type of self-care, I guess? I mean, if it's worth spending the money.
What she means is any kind of low-key flex is worth the splurge.
Low-key flexes are always worth the splurge, but I love a good 5-star dinner.
What's the most cliche wedding song?
The Twilight one. I'm done with it.
Twilight one. That's a wedding song? It's horrible.
I know. It's terrible.
I would say Highway to Hell. That was a sympathy laugh, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
What food makes for the best food fight weapon?
If I were to fight someone with food, probably like a stale French baguette.
Mine's a hot dog.
I would literally just use it like a sword and hit someone. Stale bread is hard.
Mine's a good.
It can get as hard as like a baseball.
Mine's a good wiener.
I don't think it would hurt anyone though.
The wiener?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's so.
Are we trying to hurt people?
It's so great to.
Or are we just trying to have fun?
Be able to say you just got hit with a wiener.
If we're just talking fun, bananas, I'd probably throw at people because it probably they explode on them.
Yeah.
I was thinking we were trying to kill people with food. I'm like, I would make a shank with a stale French baguette and I would stab people.
John, you're so crazy. Nuts. Which TV show has the best theme song?
Orange Is the New Black.
Oh God.
I said that just for you.
What's the worst food to order on a first date?
I will order anything on a first date, but I would say probably ribs, maybe.
Ribs would be good.
Yeah, corn on the cob,
Crab legs.
crab legs. Yeah, you'd probably learn a lot about someone on the first date. First of all, if I was on a date with somebody and they couldn't open a crab leg, I would judge them immediately on how they're opening crab legs. So, what's the worst relationship pet name?
Puddin' pea. That's
No, who called you Puddin' Pea?
Puddin' pea.
Who called you that?
It's back in my gangster days.
What's something you're convinced people lie about liking?
I think people lie about liking, what's that fancy fish eggs?
Caviar?
Yeah.
I've never tried that before. I did try escargot in Jamaica with you. I hope it was escargot. We were also in Jamaica, so it could have been anything, really.
Yeah, it was escargot.
When is it acceptable to unleash your inner Karen?
I don't know, probably when like your neighbor's yard is growing up over your house.
Yeah, you're right. I have called the city twice on my neighbors recently, and I hate being that person, guys. I understand that you get behind on mowing your lawn. I understand people get behind on stuff. That's fine. But when you have cats having kittens in your jungle of a yard and your vines are growing up over onto my fence and onto my house and latching onto my house to where I can't even get them off, we're having a problem, and I am going to call the city on you. And I think that's when it's acceptable to unleash your inner Karen. That's the answer to that one.
What is your porn star name? I'm Puddin' Pea for sure. Puddin' Pea.
What on this planet is singularly the most overrated thing of all time? Jelly roll.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I've realized?
Jelly Roll and Luke Bryant.
I never liked Jelly
Luke
Roll.
Bryan.
The only reason I ever even slightly followed Jelly Roll was because I liked his wife. And now that they're not together, I'm like,
How do you refer to a penis?
How do I refer to a penis?
Yeah.
In what manner?
Like Harry and the Hendersons.
If you're like, hey, I'm itching down there, I would say like your penis. But if we were about to get it on, I would probably call it something else.
Jesus.
Well, I mean, like if we were about to get it on, I'm not going to be like, give me your penis.
Most complicated sex positions.
Honey, we're not doing, I told you we're not doing
Standing
these.
wheelbarrow, the plank, the lotus.
Okay, this isn't Howard Stern, so put that down. My husband gets a little excited. We're not doing that. Okay, let's really dive into this. A lot of people want to know.
No, I'm not single, ladies. Sorry.
I heard that his wife is a crazy psycho bitch. So,
But you know what? There's just that little pocket of cuddle that makes her beautiful. You know what I mean?
Okay, so diving into marriage, me and Jason have been married for 4 years. We've been together for almost 10. And I don't know what I would do without you because you're my best friend and you're the other half of me at this point.
Friends.
But in the same breath, and I think you can agree,
there's always a but.
I want to stab you, probably not stab because that would hurt you. I want to hurt you, but I don't want to kill you.
I love you too, baby.
I want to pinch you really hard on your nipples, like 5 times a day.
I don't know where we're going with this podcast, but I think you need to back off there.
I just know it would kind of hurt you, but not too bad, but it would be enough for you to be like, ow, you know?
You're kind of crazy. Here.
He wakes up one night, there's just like...
You're kind of crazy.
There's like electric things on your nipples.
Jeez, girl.
I'm like, so what were you saying about that girl at Applebee's?
Nothing shocked me. You're so crude. Whoa.
Oh. Anyway.
And no, she doesn't put electrical clips on my nipples.
I do not do that. I'm actually pretty vanilla.
However,
not to say too much.
I do have one of those TENS units or whatever.
When you think crash out of the week, what comes to mind? Here at Casually Crashing Out, we want to know. If you want a chance to have your story featured on a future episode, send your spiral to casuallycrashingoutpod@gmail.com. That's casuallycrashingoutpod@gmail.com. Or reach out on any of our socials, because every crash out deserves its 5 seconds of fame. I know earlier I talked about growth and us recognizing and celebrating how far we all have come from the people we once were. But what I didn't talk about was the nitty gritty, right? The bullshit in between. No one grows by being comfortable. There's a lot of discomfort when it comes to growth sometimes, right? We got to go through some shit to get to the other side. So, how do we survive the 20 million crash outs in between? What do we do to stay smiling when it feels like the whole world is crumbling around us? How do we stay sane? Somewhat sane. Remaining positive in trying times is probably one of the hardest things I've had to teach myself because, I mean, we all get saddies sometimes. We are baddies that get saddies. And there's nothing wrong with that. Being sad is a part of being human. Being annoyed, being angry, being fed up, that's all a part of being human. Raw, real emotions that need to veer their ugly head every now and then. It's what makes us feel alive. But there's a difference between letting yourself feel and living in that state of sadness, anger, frustration. That's what we don't want. That's the kind of stuff that can hinder change, that can hinder growth. As you know, I'm a huge advocate for mental health and just positivity in general. I believe in romanticizing your life to the fullest extent and treating every day like it is a TV show and you are the main character, bitch. Do me a favor. Write down a list of everything that makes you happy. Not everything you have to do, no chores, nothing toxic, please. I mean, I love a good glass of wine, but this list is meant to be healthy responses to stress. We don't need to be drinking a bottle of wine every time something goes to shit. Hang that list somewhere that you can look at it every day because, when you're going through a rut, the last thing you want to do is pretend to be happy, right? And it is in times like that where you seem to forget the things that make you happy. I think having that list there and being constantly reminded, I try to do things off my list every single day of my life because I am an overachiever and that's just the way I am. But yeah, you have that list there when you're sad or when you're feeling down, you make sure you check those things off the list. Keep doing things that make you happy. And I promise you, you're eventually going to figure out who the fuck you are in the midst of this because you're not worried about everything else going on around you. You are focused on yourself and self-care. And so every day is going to feel like the best day ever because you're going to be constantly doing things that you love. And it's the best advice. It sounds so silly, but it's the best advice I could ever give anybody. You would have thought someone told us this by now. AKA cut all the bullshit out of your life. Alrighty, Crash Out Queens. That wraps up episode 3 of Casually Crashing Out. If you caught yourself listening today and thought, wow, that sounds like me, congratulations. You're probably one of us. And I just want to say, you're doing just fine, babes. As always, thanks for crashing out with us. If you found yourself laughing, relating, or suddenly wanting to apologize to your spouse, send this episode to someone else who might need it. Until next time, take a deep breath, drink some water, and remember, just because you're crashing out doesn't mean you're crashing alone. I'll see you next week. Same time, different chaos.
We're casually crashing, laughing while we're spiraling. We're casually crashing, we're fine until we're not.